What's going on, everyone? It's wine o'clock. I'm your host, Juleen, and this is what's going down in the PM. Today, I've got Liz Fawcett with me, local celebrity, Orange County singer and songwriter, and more recently, she's a female entrepreneur, force of nature out here in California, doing her thing. Welcome, Liz. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Oh, pleasure's all mine. So why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about yourself?
Well, you did great in the introduction, but I'll just add a few more things. I am a singer-songwriter. I've been singing since I was 9. And I got into it because of acting, and I just tried all different styles of music. And, I did it all the way up till I was 13, took a break when I was 13 just to be a normal kid. And didn't start back again till I was 17. And then I haven't stopped since, as far as music goes.
Nice. So what are some projects that you've worked on? Now is the time to name drop. It is name drop time.
Well, name drop time. Okay, so I recorded my first album when I was 9 with Tom Bruner. He's a classical composer. Not too long after that, I worked with another composer named Johnny Carl, and him and I became pretty close. We were working on some big things at the time. We were supposed to do a Celine Dion-esque, CD, and what happened was very tragic. He actually ended up passing away. He ended up shooting himself in the head. So that kind of just threw me out of the game for a little bit. And
I'll bet.
I remember people approaching me after the fact. They wanted to work with me, and I just didn't want to work. I just, didn't want to do very much. We were just very close, and he was a genius. And every other producer that came right after him just, to me, just didn't compare. So it was, I definitely needed a break. And,
old were you?
I got back into the game. I was 11 when he passed. So I think I was like in the 6th grade, really young. But he was actually pretty famous. He worked at the Chris Cathedral as their lead composer. It was on the news. He was actually, this whole situation of him, he locked himself up at the Chris Cathedral, and he ended up shooting himself there, and it was all over the news. It was very crazy. I remember watching it when I was little. My mom, tried to turn the TV off. No, don't watch that. And I'm like, no, I know who that is. I know who that is. So I remember very young that was like, wow, and we were doing Christian music too.
Oh
so
my God.
It was all just very hit at once. Everything hit me at once. So I just needed to catch my breath,
And there is nothing wrong with that. You see, at Mama's Always Right Media, we always talk about breaking down the barrier and the stigma of mental health. We like to say, let's talk about it. That's always our thing is, let's talk about it. You're not in it alone. Because my son was diagnosed with autism, and everybody act like it's just something that you don't talk about. When I wanted information, I wrote something called The Impossible Choice when I talked about how I knew next to nothing about autism. And when he started acting out and smearing, I had no idea what's going on because nobody talks about it.
Yeah.
And so I actually had to put him in an inpatient facility for children. And that absolutely broke my heart. Now, your mentor, your teacher, this man, were there any signs?
Oh, I was young. I saw signs of him. Yeah, I saw signs of him getting upset fairly quickly, short fuse. But, I just thought that was part of his genius. Or, But what can you do?
Yeah, I find that is a blessing and a curse of someone who is very good at what they do. There is a reason why there is a stereotype about musicians never getting married or finding love, because they say they'll never love anything as much as they love their craft.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
So,
there's a lot of people out there like that for sure.
yeah. So, following that, how did you pick up the pieces?
Right after that, I kind of rebelled, and didn't go I wasn't following the path that I was on. But I think when I got out all that rebelling out and whatnot, it made me realize, okay, I want to go back to who I am, and it made me realize, it opened me up. It kind of made me a better songwriter, and just more open and understanding about mental health. And like you said, the stigma behind it all, it really does makes you look at things a lot different.
Now, in the here and now, you said you wanted to get back to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So, what does that mean for you? How have you been getting back to yourself? What projects have you been working on?
Well, after that, I got in a girls group. I got my best friends together and we put this girls group together, and we just wanted to have fun. We were in dance classes together, singing classes together, choir. And that really helped, being around kids and just being a kid, but having fun at the same time and loving music again, being able to sit by with my guitar and actually write and not feel guilty about it, or, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I totally get it. So, you guys got together, you guys had a little bit of fun. Now, what are some serious projects you're working on? You're 2020. We're
Yeah.
locked inside. There's nothing else to do. You've got to be coming up with some great material now.
I'm actually working on a documentary. It's about music. I'm trying to figure out the title. Right now it's called The Movement of Sound, and it's all about how frequencies affect you in any way. And because that's had a big effect in my life, is how music has affected me and gotten me through tough times. And I have studied all types of music. Right now I'm working on a hard rock album with a band, and we've recorded over 30 songs. I think they want to release something like 3 albums back to back. And so I've just been burying myself in the studio, recording vocals, writing songs. So that project I've been doing for like a year. So that one, I'm just waiting for that one to be released. It's going to be released 2021 sometime.
What's the name of the album?
We don't have a name of it yet. And I'm not really supposed to say the title of the band yet, because the artwork and all of our social media hasn't even been released yet. Our songs nothing's been released. So it's just really been hiding in the dark almost.
Mom is always right. The media does advertising and branding. Hey.
Oh, hey, that would be great. Yeah. I mean, I do have stuff up on Spotify, iTunes, and all that under Liz Fawcett. I have music. I have albums up there. My classic lullaby CD I made when I was 9 is up there. So there's definitely, I'm constantly creating and constantly submitting music to get in behind commercials and movies, but that's separate from what I do as an artist, if that makes sense.
Tell the listeners where they can find your music.
You can find me on pretty much every platform. You just, it's just under Liz Fawcett, Fawcett. And there's all different, kinds of music, dance music, singer-songwriter kind of music, me playing the piano, full band kind of music, just a whole bunch of stuff.
Okay. So, in our last episode, I ended it with a commentary about today's music. Okay. So from back then to now, What music is in your player?
You mean my like playlist?
Yeah, tell us about your playlist. Do you listen to hip hop at all?
Not like a little bit. Not. I try not to listen to too much of other people's music instead of creating. Because if I do that, I start creating music that's similar to theirs, and I try to stay true to myself. But I'm into I'm very into classics, classic rock. I'm into the old school Etta James. I love Nora Jones. I wish she would. I mean, any album that she puts out, I'm gonna listen to. Her voice
Well,
is very good.
Nora Jones had such a chill vibe, didn't she?
Yeah, and she still kills it today. Like every time I turn on the jazz stations, her song always comes up first.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's just killing it right now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
No, I totally get it about wanting to stay true to yourself. I was just talking about how I felt about today's hip hop.
Oh.
I grew up during like the golden age in the 90s, during the golden age of hip hop,
Yeah.
rock, R&B. So it's really hard for me to get down with what they got going on now. And when you say classic rock, are we talking, butt rock, alternative rock?
No,
What are we talking about?
we're talking about like Scorpions, AC/DC,
Hey.
Rolling Stones, just classic, just very classic.
Oh my God. Okay. So I loved AC/DC, Rolling Stones too, Kiss.
Yeah,
Are
oh
you a
yeah,
Kiss fan?
yeah. I remember
Journey.
I remember I was dating this guy, like I was in junior high and he was obsessed with Kiss and he was like, you gotta listen to them, they're so cool. And I'm like, okay, all right. Cause at the time I was like singing classical music. So yeah, I was listening to classical music and rock at the same time. So
Oh wow. That sounds like a total If I Stay type of deal. Have you seen that movie?
no, but I like the title.
Wow. Okay, so this movie, If I Stay, it's about a musician who applies to Juilliard, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's a cello player and she loves classic music. She falls in love with, a rocker that's into like alternative music. Smashing Pumpkins is like their song. So they fall in love. She gets into a car accident and I guess her brother, mother, and father, like her whole family, pass away. But she's still fighting for her life in the ER. And then she keeps hearing her favorite cello song. And, if she follows it and goes outside, then guess what? She passes on and goes heaven or whatever. And then as she's walking towards the door, oh, spoiler alert, as she's walking towards the door, I guess her ex-boyfriend or current boyfriend puts Smashing Pumpkins on her head. And she's like, oh, wait a minute. And then she goes back and she's like, you know what? I want to live.
I think I do remember the commercial for that actually. Was
Yeah.
it was it Chloe?
Yeah, Chloe Moretz was in it.
Yeah, yeah.
I was down for all of it until she stayed for a boy. I was like, everything, everything. I was down for all of that. The love story, the music, the Juilliard, and then she stayed for a boy, and I was like, here we go.
Yeah. She must have really liked him.
Well, after all that, she gave up heaven for him, so
Yeah.
I'm just saying he better be good to her. No pressure there, bud.
She was probably like, I just want to get some, you know what I mean?
She's like,
I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that when I get into heaven.
she said, I don't want to die before I get to get back to you one more time.
Sorry. You never know.
We're like, this is what happens when, professionals our filters go down and, bras come off and we're done with work. This is what goes down in the PM, y'all. At 1 o'clock, we don't care anymore.
No.
Yeah, so but that was that's a total if I stay story. So what ended up happening, I realized this is a while you were at school thing, but I mean what ended up happening with that? Did it just not work out?
Oh, with the guy?
Yeah. I want to know about the guy.
Um, oh yeah, no, I mean, I was such a tomboy at the time. I feel like I was just friends with so many guys. I feel like a lot of the guys thought I was their girlfriend.
Oh jeez.
But honestly, yeah.
He was here for right now.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, technically you were a child star. So that definitely goes with the celebrity trope. So is
I just wanted to play basketball and have fun.
I'm just saying, period. But what about did you ever go on tours and stuff? Did you travel at all?
I did a lot of national, like singing on national television. A lot. I did a lot of that, but I didn't get to go on a crazy tour. I traveled all over the like I did part like in the United States, but not. I wouldn't call it a serious tour. I'm kind of hoping that that's going to happen after all this COVID stuff. But we'll see.
Well, I'm ready for COVID to go. it's like it's like that guest that pops up to dinner uninvited and then won't leave, and you're just like, ooh. So it's time. That's how I feel about COVID. I'm like, oh no, you gotta go. It's time. You've overstayed your welcome. Most flu seasons only last a few months. Been here a year.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta go, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
So no wild hotel parties or anything.
No, I did. I got most of all that out before, like when I took my break, and I lived in Reno at the time, Reno, Nevada. So that place was pretty wild. I remember I dated a guy that was a lot older than me.
Oh
When
man.
I was still in high school. Yeah, so I just got all that wild stuff out, like, I
Mm.
don't know, before I reached 25. When I reached 25, I feel like I calmed down.
That's good. I am a firm believer that when you're young, that's when you get your kicks. When you get older, you know, stay cool. Don't be, don't do a complete 180. But when you become an adult, that is the time to just be like, all right, let me chill out, chase this bag, secure my legacy.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like your 20s is all about seeing what's out there.
Mm-hmm.
And then your 30s is all about saying, okay, you know what?
I'm gonna do the damn thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the damn thing and chase this bag.
Yeah.
See, I was military, so I did all that partying all around the world,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and I'll tell you, it's just as scandalous
Oh
as
yeah.
as anywhere else. Yeah.
So when did
So,
you get out of the military?
2004, 2004. Yeah, I'm dating myself, but it's okay. My listeners all know I'm an old lady, so it's all good. But you guys, guess what? Liz Fawcett's gonna be at Artism at the Park, so
Oh
you
yeah.
guys might want to hop on that. It's coming soon. Coming soon to a venue near you, except we are being forced to go virtual because, COVID.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
so
we're gonna get it done. We're gonna do it. So.
yeah, we're gonna do the damn thing. Artism in the Park. We're gonna raise money for autism awareness. And what happened to you, mental health awareness is just as important. So I kind of want to make this an annual event, do Artism in the Park. And then the other event I would like to do right after that is called an unmasquerade ball. No, not an unmasquerade, because have you ever seen that movie, The Joker, the one with Joaquin Phoenix?
I haven't. I've seen the one with Heath Ledger, but
With
not.
Heath Ledger?
Mm.
Oh, Well, the one with Joaquin Phoenix, he said the worst part of having a mental issue is being forced to pretend that you don't. And he said it's like he has to wear his normal person mask. And that hit me. What if you had a mental problem and then had to pretend for other people? It's like you can never be yourself.
Yeah.
So that's when I came up with the concept of the unmasquerade ball.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with mental health, I feel like, obviously I didn't get help, with a therapist till I was in my 20s. Not sure why. It just happened that way, and it was very therapeutic, but it just made me realize that there are a lot of young kids that don't get to express themselves at home, and they like kind of live in their heads, and it's hard for them to express themselves, and that can be toxic.
Oh yeah. I was one of those kids that lived in my head. Well, and it's the artist thing. See, writers, we're artists too. Except, our paintbrush is really a pen and paper or, our
Your
computer
imagination,
keys.
it's
It's our imagination. This is what's going on in our head, but on paper,
mhm.
I did that too all the time. Like I have a
And you try to
few,
put on a brave face, right?
yep, especially when it comes to like going to school and having to deal with other people and see, it was hard for me to fit in. I was reading at like a college level by the age of 5. I really didn't have anything to talk to anybody about.
Yeah.
So I would just write. I had friends in high school who were like, some just accepted that this was who I was because I'll stop talking for a week and just start and write everything.
Mm-hmm.
I communicate, I'll write it down and then pass them the paper and they're just like, "Oh Lord, she's doing this. Okay, we're doing this again." So it's kind of like I guess what music must have been to you, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, I have vivid memories just walking around in school down the halls, putting on a smile, and clearly just effing miserable in my mind. But I wanted to just keep a brave face. I thought that was better than having a nervous breakdown, So I just held tight, I just held tight to what I knew, what I knew best to do.
Did you feel like that stigma around mental health prevented you from getting help?
Mm, no, because when I was young, I wasn't sure. I just thought it was growing pains, or like my mom would say, "Oh, it's just it's growing pains." And in my household, we didn't really communicate emotionally that well with each other. It was always just like kind of bickering, or you know what I mean, like I don't know, um, lots of drama. It wasn't, my mom would always say, "Don't cry," you know and stuff like that. And I think it's because her mom told her that. And, that can affect you as well, because you want to put on that brave face for the ones you love at home as well,
Oh yeah.
So,
Then, at some point you realize my mental health is for me. So I'm going to do what's best for me.
yeah, I mean, I didn't get help until I reached pretty much rock bottom. I was drinking a lot, smoking a lot of marijuana, taking pills, doing a bunch of stuff I wasn't supposed to be doing. And I was trying to act. I was Sarah Michelle Gellar's doubler in The Ringer, and I was trying to break into the movie industry, and I was doing pretty well, but I was 100 pounds. I mean, the wind could have blew me over if it wanted to. I just, I wasn't in the right space. And that's when I met my husband. And my husband really, I mean, he's like a bright light in my life. He helped save me. And I basically just quit. I quit everything. for a bit and just kind of got my mind straight. And I just focused on that for years. And I just wrote about it. And, I was still doing music, but I wasn't going full force professionally because it was just not at the right time. Wasn't the right time.
So what made you realize that you were at rock bottom?
I mean, I guess because when you want to share a life, or when you share a life with someone that you meet, that's kind of your match or your soulmate, it kind of puts things in a perspective. You want to be your best self. And it just made me realize, like, I can't keep living like this and keep doing the same thing. It's obviously not working, and I'm not at home. I have my own life, and I can do things my own way. And I want to be better. I wanted to be better, and it took that.
That's awesome. And it's lucky you were able to pick yourself up and recognize that. Now, a lot of people are not so lucky.
Yeah. I mean, I basically chose love over trying to be famous or trying to be such a big star or something. I just basically said, you know what? I think love is going to get me there, faster anyways.
And it did.
Yeah.
And it did.
I'm happily married. I'm pregnant. I'm, things are different in my life.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Hey, we love babies at Mom is Always Right Media. So you know if it's a boy or a girl already?
No, I don't. My first ultrasound is actually tomorrow.
Oh, hey. Oh, that's so awesome. Are you gonna be surprised, or are you gonna find out?
I mean, I'm not very patient. I will. I mean, I don't know if I'll find out tomorrow, depending on how far along I am. But I mean, I don't know. Well, I'm just going with the flow. We'll see when the moment comes.
Oh, you're on Team 10 Fingers and Toes.
Yeah, I really am.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Because for so long, when I was working all the time in the movie industry, I didn't think I was going to get married. I didn't think I was going to have children. I thought it because I liked working and I was a workaholic, and it just, I don't know. Like I said, I realized you can have it. You can have it all. You can find someone that you truly love and still do what you truly love. And I didn't want to fall into that category of those miserable celebrities and just miserable people just because they want to be rich or famous or they want to be heard. And it's like, we all want to be heard. We all are our own artists,
Well, when you watch celebrities, they're getting married and divorced. I mean, if you guys see your favorite celebrity or your celebrity crush get married, don't trip. They'll be back on the market in a few years. Let's just be honest, because though that schedule is really hard to maintain a good work balance, a good relationship with that type of work schedule. Problem with celebrityhood, I guess, that's a tough industry.
Oh yeah.
You cannot fall off. You cannot take breaks. You are going to, you have to now and forever just be on it. If you want to work and make money, people have to see your face in everything.
Oh yeah. It's a constant thing. You got to be mentally strong, emotionally strong. You're like, who's turned on the faucet?
No, see. Look, this is what happens when you're in quarantine. Okay, when you're live and direct from quarantine, you realize footsteps are very loud, especially with a condenser microphone for podcasting. You're just like, geez, is that a cockroach farting? What is that? You hear everything.
Yeah.
So, Yeah, but that's a tough industry. I am convinced the reason why so many celebrities are getting married and divorced is
Mhm.
not because they're not right for each other. It's that their jobs don't allow them to grow together.
That honestly, though, I think it's a choice.
You think so?
I do. I do. I think everyone has a choice. It's whether you choose money over health. And I feel like a lot of people these days, they always choose something else over their health. And it is because of the stigma, and it is because a lot of people aren't capable of getting the right help.
Yeah.
And you have to search. You have to search for the right doctor sometimes. It does take time. I mean, when you do get on medication, sometimes it doesn't work, and then you got to try other ones and it might work. And it's this trial and error, it's this holistic medicine meeting modern. And it's just this whole thing together. And I think the balance is actually what people need to focus on. But there is that stigma against medication, but there are some that do truly need it.
It's true. When I came home from deployment and I finally ended up at the VA, it took me years. I got out in '04. I didn't end up getting help or end up at the VA until '09. Yeah, it was '09 because like I was freaking out bad until the birth of my two sons, and my second son was born in '09, and that coupled with postpartum depression, I had a really hard time. Not to where it was harmful to my son, but to where it was harmful to myself.
Mm-hmm.
Not where I wasn't hurting myself or anything, but I was self-isolating. I wasn't talking about things with anybody. I was disconnected from my family. It was me and my boys versus the whole wide world.
Mm-hmm.
And that is self-destructive. So I didn't realize until that moment that maybe I need to talk about some things.
Yeah, but it's all
Yeah.
it starts with trust, right? I mean, I remember going to one doctor, and this female doctor, and I just didn't vibe with her. I just couldn't vibe with her, and I told her, I said, I'm probably just this is going to be my only session. And I found another doctor that I could communicate with. He was a psychiatrist. He was a psychologist, and he was a lot smarter, and I think he could figure things out a lot quicker for me. And that's what I needed. I need someone to, talk about my entire childhood up until then. And because I wanted to figure out what was happening, what was wrong. So,
Yeah,
and,
I agree. The wrong doctor can make things worse.
oh yeah.
When from the first person I saw at the VA, she would write notes about me, about the way I was dressed. Oh, you know, she's wearing a shirt that barely covers her, and she looks healthy, and I think she looks clean. And then she would say things like, "Well, your friend is dead. He's dead. He's not coming back, and you need to accept that." And she would tell me these things because she said that it's important that it's time for me to come out of one stage. And I got so pissed off at her I think I gave her like 4 sessions. And then the last session, I was like, this is going to be our last session because I really don't want to dissociate and hit you. So I was
Yeah.
like,
I mean, I feel like the best doctors, or at least psychiatrists, I mean, when you're going through like a mental issue, they're supposed to come into your world. Kind of, they got to come into your world to understand your state of mind and figure out why exactly it is that you feel the way that you feel. Is it a chemical imbalance? Is it a mix between chemical and just situational? You know. So, I mean, there's a lot of different variables that come with it. And I feel like a lot of doctors, they just quick to diagnose you, and then they diagnose you wrong. They give you the wrong diagnosis, and then you're on the wrong medication. And then what?
yeah. And you know what's crazy too? they're supposed to be in your world and be like, okay, so this is my phase of grief. I'm going to stay right here in this phase for as long as I possibly can
Yeah.
until I'm ready to move on to the next one.
Yeah.
And when I told my doctor, hey, this is our last session because I really, I don't want to dissociate and hit you. She was like, that's good. We're in the anger phase. I'm like, no, we're not. Like, it's you. It's not me, it's you.
Mm-hmm.
So, after that, I really just I was like, this is stupid. Psychology's BS. The psychiatrists are BS. And I never went back until 2017 when I got a divorce and I realized if I want to be, again, like you said, the best version of myself, I got to work on myself.
Mm-hmm.
So, ladies and gents, staying single, doing the work, there is nothing wrong with taking care of your mental health, taking care of you. Liz, you got help, you chose love. You felt good, right?
Oh yeah. It was like a big weight lifted off my shoulder.
Yeah, and the truth be told, when people have a hard time communicating or it's because hurt people hurt people.
Yeah, it's
So
true.
you have to choose to break that cycle of not being communicative.
Yeah.
You're
You have to know, first off, if you're too young to get help, and if you are listening, don't be scared to reach out to someone that you trust that can maybe help you find help. If your parents aren't around or they just don't understand or you don't feel comfortable going to them, finding someone that you do feel comfortable going to, there's no shame in it. And just talking and just expressing yourself and getting those emotions out is the best way to do it. And don't just go on any medication. Take your time with it. Be holistic in be as holistic as you can. And then when you reach that point where if you need to go on medication because nothing else is working, it's okay. Do your research, and trust in the right doctor. If you're not trusting that doctor, find another one.
Yeah, if you don't trust your doctor, you will be competitive
Mm-hmm.
and you won't be able to do the work or combative. It'll be like a spy versus spy situation where your doctor will ask you something and you will try and outsmart your doctor because you do not trust them.
Mm-hmm.
And that is not conducive towards healing, period.
Nope.
All right, so Liz, shout out to my listeners again where they can find your work. Let's tell them about your businesses.
Well, recently I just started a blog, and the blog is called Lizard because my aunt, when I was younger, she nicknamed me Lizard, and it just kind of stuck with me all these years. And I just kept trying to figure out a name to call my blog or call the business. I'm like, I don't know. And I don't really want it to make sense. So I was just like, you know what? I'm going to call it Lizard and get rid of the A. So it's just Lizzrd. A little strange, but I'm strange. And the business I started because I was writing a lot and working for others, submitting music and waiting and hoping that it would get placed. And it wasn't a consistent moneymaker. So it frustrated me a lot. So I created this blog. I wanted to be able to travel the world whenever I could, but work at the same time and still be able to create. I wanted to give back to the arts, and Lizard is about art. I was inspired by artists to create Lizard, and it's just morphed into this kind of umbrella. I have merchandise up on the site. I'm trying to perfect it. I only have small amount of merchandise, but I'm just trying to make the quality there, more quality. And hopefully from there, I can put the documentary up on that platform. So I just really wanted to create a platform where I could be myself and also, write about things that really matter to me. Other than music. Other than music.
That's awesome. All right, guys. So I'm over here chopping it up with Liz Fawcett, child celebrity, singer-songwriter, and now she's delving into the other side of writing. She's blogging and she's doing a documentary, so keep an eye out for that. Do you have a title for the documentary?
It should be called The Movement of Sound.
The Movement of Sound. Oh, you said that already. Yep. See, keep an eye out for a documentary called The Movement of Sound, and it's going to give you all the tea on the music industry. Hey.
Yeah, it will.
So shout out your blog link so that they can go and check out your blog.
So you can reach it at www.lizzrd.com, Lizard. And you can also find any music of mine on iTunes or Spotify or YouTube if you want to watch some YouTube videos. There's a lot of videos of me performing with my older band when I was younger. And just stay tuned because a lot's going to happen 2021,
I'm telling you, I declare it, it's happening. 2021 is going to be when we make a change, or at least we get to go outside. Can we go outside in 2021? Let's all just say we're going outside in 2021, okay? Well, this is going to be really exciting, and if you guys need more information on her projects, you can message me at Juleen Moreno, Juleen, at momisalwaysright, WRITE.com, and I can get that information for you. We're going to stay in touch for Autism in the Park, right?
Yeah, definitely.
You can also catch Liz Fawcett at our Autism in the Park, coming soon to a computer near you. And you can follow us on Twitter. It's @it goes down in the PM. You can become our patron at our Patreon at www.patreon.com/it goes down in the PM. Follow Mom is Always Right Media Productions on Instagram @Mom is Always Right, WRITE. You can follow us on Facebook. That's facebook.com/Mom is Always Right, WRITE. I think that's it. Thank you for coming to chop it up with me today, Liz Fawcett.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Pleasure was all mine, and I can't wait to see what you come up with and check out your documentaries. And that's what went down in the PM.
Goodbye.